With all the talk of new technology like AI chatbots, it can be easy to forget just how important plain old phone-based communication still is in many businesses. But with all the hype that surrounds those novel technologies, it can also be easy to miss the fact that plain old phone communication isn't that plain anymore. This is an area where many companies continue to innovate, and high-end productivity boosting features are easier to roll out and more accessible than they ever have been in the past. If your business uses Microsoft 365 and you already or are planning to use Microsoft Teams, then the telephony solution that lives inside Teams, Teams Phone, can be a really great option. In this video, I'm going to explore the features of Teams Phone from the perspective of the needs I see in many smaller businesses, to give you all you need to know if this is a solution you should be considering for your business. But first, a quick introduction. My name is Nick DeCourcy and I'm the owner at Bright Ideas Agency, a digital transformation consulting business focused on the needs of smaller businesses. We help clients across the world get more from technology, and if you're interested in working with me, there are links below to help you get in contact. Depending on the size and scale of your business and when you last invested in telephone technology, there are several different ways your phones might work today. You might just have a few separate telephone lines connected to your building by your telecoms provider. You might have an existing legacy PBX or private branch exchange. In many cases, this is a dusty box in a closet somewhere where all your phone extensions terminate. Or you might be using a VoIP or voice over IP service already. It's not uncommon for me to work with businesses with phone systems that haven't been touched in literally years, that are never upgraded or supported, or even have their configurations backed up, and for which the person who knew really how to use it left years ago. Even in some businesses with fairly robust IT service otherwise, this is the case. The fact is, if you're spending time thinking about how to deliver better customer experience across your communication channels, not including your phones doesn't make sense. There is just as much value you can add in voice as anywhere else, both for the experience of your customers, but also for the experience and productivity of your team members. So what is Teams Phone? I guess the easiest way to explain Teams Phone is that it extends the capabilities of Teams, so that instead of just being able to make and receive calls from other Teams users, you can make and receive calls from anyone using any phone line through a traditional phone number assigned to you or assigned to groups of users through your organisation. The default experience of this is to work through your normal Teams interfaces. So if you've already invested in Teams as a video conferencing system, giving your users headsets and equipping rooms with equipment that includes high quality audio for Teams, with Teams Phone, you can benefit from this investment with your normal phone calls too. But for as many people as that sounds great, there are others who find the idea of not having a physical phone disturbing. Number one, with the Teams app on any mobile device, you already have phone hardware that can interface with this capability. But beyond that, there's also a range of business phones designed to operate as part of a Teams Phone installation. In terms of licensing, Teams Phone is an add-on to your base Teams license that is included with Microsoft 365 or bought separately. You can just buy the Teams Phone license from Microsoft and then bring your own calling plan in a number of ways, or you can buy the phone license plus a calling plan from Microsoft. Teams Phone with a domestic calling plan that gives you 3,000 minutes in the US is $15 a month. Teams Phone is a pretty fully fledged phone system. You can have call queues and contact center style features. It operates alongside your existing Teams capabilities, so the transition between your internal calls or meetings and your phone system is seamless. You can provision auto attendance and develop complex phone tree systems to route your calls to the right place. For some niche use cases, there are things that long-term established players do allow you to do that you can't do in Teams. The one that's most relevant to most people is SMS, but as a direct replacement for most smaller business phone systems, it's a robust product with the added benefit of being part of Teams. So now we've explored the basics of what Teams Phone is. Here are my top 5 reasons you should be thinking about Teams Phone as that telephony solution for your business. But before we dig into the first reason, can I just ask a favour of you? If you're enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up to help it get in front of others. And if you get value from my content, please hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so you'll know when I release another video. Thanks. The VoIP service market is pretty crowded. There is direct competition from Teams competitors Zoom and then other established players like RingCentral and 8x8. You can even generally buy VoIP products directly from your existing telephone provider. And depending on what you want, Teams may not be the cheapest option, but it's also not significantly out of step with similar products. However, one significant advantage if you already have invested resources in deploying and adopting Teams, and you already have good processes in place for managing your Microsoft 365 resources, is that managing Teams Phone builds upon that effort and the skills you're already using. On a day-by-day basis, this can be a big time saver. Whether you're thinking of new starters, leavers, or just day-to-day management, even ongoing reporting, having everything in one place can really help. For most smaller and mid-sized businesses, this should be a factor that is at least considered before tacking on another service to manage. Conversely, if you have a third-party telecoms provider you are interested in using, Microsoft has a wide range of capabilities through programs called Operator Connect and Direct Routing to allow you to use third-party telecoms and even physical phone lines coming into your building while implementing Teams as your user interface to your phone system. Through a combination of services, Teams Phone can be the perfect launchpad for upgrading your phone system and making it scalable to the needs of hybrid and remote work, depending on exactly what you need. Microsoft provides a flexible interface layer and works hard to not tie you into their underlying calling plans. In my opinion, as an end-user experience, these solutions work better than the services some third parties like 8x8 previously had to inject their calling app into Teams. It allows you to use the Teams interface fully as it is designed to be used, to add on physical devices where you need them, to manage as much as you can through Microsoft 365, but also get whatever benefit you are looking for through your relationship with your third parties. Often, for smaller businesses, one of the big turn-offs for moving to a cloud-based telephony solution is that you have historically not implemented a direct line for each of your employees, and through sharing lines or phones, you have had a system that works for your purposes, but doesn't cost you too much. In general, when moving to a cloud-based system, the traditional approach of cloud-based SaaS technology applies, and you move to per-user licensing. This can get expensive really fast when it comes to phone plans, adding $15 to $20 per month per user. To address this, Teams Phone has a shared calling model, which is specifically designed for low usage per user scenarios where you want to minimize your costs while still enjoying the benefit of the system. This allows users to share a phone line without sharing their Teams account, which is problematic both from a licensing and security perspective. Now, to be clear, your users do still need a Teams Phone license to use this feature. They just do not require a dedicated calling plan. But this can deliver significant savings versus how we were seeing Teams Phone being rolled out just months ago. However, if you choose to go this route, right now, your setup is going to be more complex than if you just give everyone their own direct number and calling plan. If you've chosen Microsoft 365 as your productivity solution, the way you get maximum return on your investment is to adopt it as fully as possible in line with the needs of your business. And in my experience, wherever you are on that adoption journey and however important telephony is to your business, dropping your telephony solution into Teams helps with that goal. In organisations just starting up the steps of modern work and highly dependent on telephony and other legacy communications, dropping your phone solution into Teams provides an extra incentive to boost Teams adoption. You're not training people on two different platforms, you're training them that there is one ideal place for them to do their modern communication, of which telephony is just one solution, alongside video conferencing and chat. In organisations that have already climbed a significant number of those modern work steps, adding telephony to Teams just underlines that work. Those old-style business phones on your desks with old-fashioned voice menus and grimy, worn buttons that last looked new when someone long retired was using your desk are scary and a turn-off for those who are digital natives. Moving telephony into Teams can often be the last part of your modern work puzzle and offers you the advantage of bringing phone services to where people are already working. And this wouldn't be a video about Microsoft technology without mentioning Copilot. Just as AI is infusing all of Microsoft's tools, it's deeply embedded in Teams and embedded in Teams Phone too. If you're planning to adopt Copilot for Microsoft 365, then the benefits of AI will come to your phone calls too, and given that deploying Copilot has a fairly significant per user investment, the more benefit you can get across your ecosystem by aligning your products with those where the Copilot adds value, the better off you're going to be. And beyond this, my advice right now is if you're interested in Microsoft 365 and Copilot together, there has to be a really good reason to buy something from a third party if Microsoft has an option for it. I firmly believe where Microsoft will continue to differentiate itself in AI is in the business data it holds through its ecosystem of products. And while there are increasingly sophisticated ways of getting third-party data into the dataset that can be used for Copilot AI grounding, why create this added complexity unnecessarily? I'm also to be convinced that the indexing of all this third-party data is going to be as robust as what is in the Microsoft Graph. So while we're on the topic of AI, I want to mention that I have a new book out. Who's in the Copilot Seat is, as far as I'm aware, the only guidebook for AI adoption focused on the needs of small business leaders that's currently available. You can grab a copy on Amazon, and there's a link below where you can find out more. I appreciate all of you who are supporting my work and helping your organisations to succeed in the AI age by getting copies. So we've talked about a lot of advantages of using Teams Phone. Are there disadvantages? Teams Phone is just part of what Teams offers. And in turn, Teams is just part of what Microsoft 365 offers. For that reason, where you have niche needs that are specifically telecoms related, more dedicated providers like RingCentral or even your local telecoms company might be more suited to you than Teams. For example, Teams has made strides in the contact centre area, but there are still better products. For public safety needs, such as your company's security departments, other infrastructure may well be more suited than what you get from Microsoft. That said, increasingly those cloud-based VoIP providers are kind of doing the same thing as Microsoft in reverse. They don't just provide phone, they provide video, they provide chat. Increasingly we are seeing a convergence where every company does everything. And in that market, I would bet on Microsoft before I'd bet on a RingCentral or an 8x8 or a Zoom, just because Microsoft has been doing this for far longer at far greater scale. If you have lots of users who want phone hardware, Teams Phone can get pretty costly. In general, whereas you can get a basic VoIP phone that will work with many systems for tens of dollars, you're looking at hundreds plus for something that's Teams compatible. Whether this is a problem depends on how you're aiming to adopt Teams Phone. If you've already invested in good audio hardware for your workers' desks, such as high quality headsets, then you may get a saving by deploying Teams Phone over buying new VoIP phones. But if you'd need to do that, or you have lots of places where you need physical phones, you do need to be careful. Lastly, I think it's important to say that betting on the AI-related benefits of Teams Phone over other services is at this point largely a guess. We know they are there, we know if you can get access to Copilot, you can use them, but they haven't been in the wild enough to truly know the benefit. I'm a big proponent of putting as much as you can of your small business IT under the Microsoft 365 umbrella because of the sideline benefits that it offers. But you should never base big investments on technology or capabilities that might exist in the future over those that exist now. Is that part of your scorecard? Sure. Is it at the top or even in the top 5? Probably not. Overall, I think Teams Phone offers a really attractive package for many smaller businesses and larger businesses alike. It's not the right or best solution for everyone, but if you're already invested in Microsoft 365, if Teams is part of your work modernization efforts, and you're in the market for a new phone system because yours is out of support or your contract is coming to an end, it's definitely worth a look. Unless you're a micro business, it's definitely not something you can just buy on a whim and expect it to work for you. You need a good needs assessment that puts likely candidates side by side. I've found in the past that many MSPs who support Microsoft 365 don't put Teams Phone on their list when looking at telephony options, so you also need to think about who will support your Teams Phone if you decide to buy it. At the very least, I highly recommend you take a look. Thanks for watching through to the end. I hope this was useful to you. Until the next video, bye bye.